Good day, folks. Thank you for joining us here at Your Health. Say, have you lost your joy? Perhaps you no longer have interest in all the little fun hobbies you used to occupy yourself with. Maybe you have a long list of medical conditions and the pain is just getting you down. You know, we have help for that. You don't necessarily have to take a long list of medications to help with depression. Nature has provided us with St. John's Wort, an amazing herbal substance that can help you return your joy. It's a wonderful thing, and you should know about it. Now, maybe you don't have depression, but maybe perhaps a loved one does, a neighbor, a friend, a fellow coworker. When you lose your joy like this, life gets tough, and we can help these folks, but we have to learn how to do it naturally. That's what this program's all about. St. John's Wort and lifting the veil of depression. But first, let's go to our news. Let's see what's happening in the health world. Medical errors are now the third leading cause of death in America. Researchers from Johns Hopkins University reviewed 4 high-quality large studies from governmental agencies and other respected sources. They found medical errors account for some 250,000 deaths annually. The study follows a landmark report published in 1999 from the Institutes of Medicine that found medical errors caused some 100,000 deaths yearly. The new study reveals little has changed in American medicine to make safer for consumers. The study was published by BMJ. Well, folks, this is a most disturbing revelation. About 250,000 Americans die every year because of medical errors committed by people that we have traditionally trusted the most. That's 10% of all deaths, or 700 preventable deaths every day of the year. The study finds the deaths are due to bad doctors and other poor-performing allied health professionals, communication errors in hospitals and in doctors' offices, medication errors, operating on the wrong patient or body part, errors committed during and after transition of care from one shift to the next, or after the patient transfers from one hospital to a specialty hospital. The authors of the study are calling for sweeping governmental changes that include mandatory reporting error-caused deaths to the Center for Disease Control. Now, there is no doubt that American medicine needs to do better, but let's be honest, doctors and healthcare professionals are not likely to willingly participate in any program that requires them to admit their actions caused a patient's death. The self-incriminating act could lead to loss of medical license and multi-million-dollar liability malpractice claims. Also, American medicine is going through growing pains with the implementation of the Affordable Care Act that obviously is going to take time to work through. So it seems obvious that the medical system carries the lion's share of the blame on this issue, but we, the patient, can also do more as Americans have become too dependent on our healthcare system. Far too many of us ignore healthy lifestyle practices, and when we do become sick, we just leave it all up to the medical professionals. This is our mistake. If we know more about health and the treatment of disease, we will not be as susceptible to medical errors. Further, if we live healthfully, we are much more likely to rarely or never need doctors or hospitals where these life-threatening medical errors are most likely to occur. Eating more fish and supplementing fish oil leads to reduced length of hospital stay. Researchers from Sherbrooke University reviewed 11 previous studies conducted on over 1,000 patients. They found that cardiac surgery patients that received omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids prior to surgery experienced reduced postoperative cardiac arrhythmias and significantly reduced length of hospital stay by up to 2.5 days. The study was published by Clinical Nutrition. Related research published by Scientific Reports finds those who ingest the most omega-3 fatty acids are at 9% reduced risk of death from all causes. They also found for every 300 milligram increase per day of omega-3s ingested, the risk of death is reduced by 6%. Well, folks, our first news story tells about the abysmal tale of medical errors-induced death here in America, and our second story tells us of how we can reduce our need for doctors and hospitals and our overall risk of surgery complications and the risk of death from all causes. Isn't this amazing? Taking omega-3s prior to heart surgery reduces your risk of developing cardiac arrhythmias in general and specifically atrial fibrillation, and you know how common that is. Plus, the omega-3s will shorten your hospital stay after cardiac surgery by about 2 to 3 days. We also learned that making a practice of regular fish or fish oil consumption reduces your risk of death from any and all causes, including medical errors, by about 10%. The researchers commented that for every 1% increase in our blood's omega-3 content, it decreases death risk by about 20%. So, simply stated and in practical terms, by taking from 4 to 6 grams of fish oil a day and eating fish once or twice a week, you can reduce your risk of dying this year and next by as much as 60 to 70%. Now, just imagine what can be done with a complete holistic plan of prevention. The potential is amazing and absolutely worth the effort. Well, on today's Your Health, we'll discuss the remarkable healing properties of St. John's wort. Stay tuned to learn more. Is your life out of balance? It may be. The average American consumes far too many omega-6s and not enough omega-3s. This creates an imbalance.
So what can we do to get back in balance? We can eat a healthy diet.
And most of us need to supplement with omega-3 rich fish oil. Fish oil contains omega-3s with DHA and EPA, fatty acids that promote good brain and heart health. So reduce omega-6 in your nutritional plan and boost omega-3 to get back in balance.
To help you do that, BioInnovations offers 2 products, the Fish Oil Complex and Omega 369, both formulated for your health and well-being. So how do you choose? For highest levels of DHA and EPA, choose the Fish Oil Complex. For a balanced formula, choose the 369.
Go online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings.
I'm Cindy Becker, and this is Your Health at a Glance. Do you want to maintain your mental clarity? With people living longer, we need more research into the ways to lower the risk of dementia. Studies are showing us that people who regularly read books, complete puzzles, or solve word games like the Sunday crossword puzzle maintain their mental abilities longer than people who don't. We also preserve memory by maintaining social activities, such as volunteering, attending religious services, or regularly talking with friends and neighbors. And diet plays a big role as well. It's important to eat a nutritious diet free from heavy metals and chemical pollutants, and full of vitamins and the essential fatty acids which power the brain. These simple and important steps will help keep you mentally healthy for many years to come. For Your Health at a Glance, I'm Cindy Becker.
Do you believe that nature holds the answer to your health needs? Are you looking for a supplement that's simple and pure, yet really works?
If you're looking for nature's answer to better health, look to Aloha Noni Juice. It's pure and fresh, just like nature intended. Aloha Noni Juice is brought to you direct from the islands of Polynesia.
Aloha Noni Juice is 100% pure with no added sugar or sweet fruit fillers. It's the perfect addition to your low-sugar diet.
Aloha Noni Juice drinkers will tell you their vitality, energy, and sense of well-being have improved, along with relief from many painful conditions. Made by nature, proven by science, Aloha Noni Juice contains only nature's best.
And now you can enjoy the benefits of our new 100% certified organic Noni Juice.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings.
Welcome back, everyone. It is just fantastic to be with you today. We have a great show planned. We're going to be talking about nature's herb, St. John's wort, and how this wondrous little jewel of nature can help you naturally support healthy mood. So, Richard,
Yes.
When we say healthy mood support, that can mean a variety of things. It doesn't have to mean clinical depression, but it does help with people who do suffer from depression.
Absolutely. Depressed mood, stress, anxiety, even clinical depression. You know, in our modern world, it seems obvious to all who investigate depression that we have more depression than ever, than the humankind has ever dealt with. Some 22% of Americans this year will be depressed for some period of time. And it's important to understand that a reaction of a depressed mood is a common reaction to illness and the stresses of life. But our regenerative and healing capabilities should boost that mood up again so we can get back to our joy and pursuit of happiness and that is our normal state. But sometimes we get stuck in depression, in that low mood, and for a variety of reasons we're going to talk about. Now, no one wants to talk about depression. Let's be frank. It is depressing. A discussion of depression is depressing. But everyone watching today knows someone close to them who battles depression. It is that common. And if the holistic approach to treating depression were more general knowledge, we could make a profound difference in the community. And that's the whole point of this discussion today. 1 in 10 Americans, this problem has gotten so bad that 1 in 10 Americans are taking a medication for a psychiatric diagnosis. And 6 to 8% of all Americans are currently depressed and taking a medication, a very powerful medication. The problem with these medicines are they are fraught with side effects, and they are only marginally effective. Walking every day is as effective as these antidepressants. But walking doesn't cause suicide thoughts, aggressive behaviors, and all the side effects associated with these antidepressants. Well, we have an alternative, and that's our topic for today. St. John's Wort is an ancient depression remedy that works as well or better than the medications prescribed today, with virtually no side effects. It's hard to find any side effects to St. John's Wort. There are a few, and we'll discuss that in a minute. What is depression? Let's define it very clearly. It is a mental state characterized by a dejected mood, loss of hope and self-love, and you know we need hope to survive. That's fundamental to humanity. Loss of hope and self-love, slowing of thought and physical action, insomnia or hyperinsomnia. Can't sleep or you're sleeping all day. Or it may not have this. It can be a compilation of these symptoms. It is quite varied. There can be weight loss or weight gain, changes in appetite, feelings of guilt, exaggerated physical complaints, and chronic pain. Depression, it is expected that depression follows chronic pain. If you live in chronic pain, it is highly likely that you're in a depressed state, and we can help you today. There is also a misconception of the consequences of engaging life. And what do I mean by that? Oh, I don't want to go to Disney World with the family. I wouldn't have any fun there. Who doesn't have fun at Disney World? Come on. It's the place where everybody can be a kid. Loss of interest in those types of activities is a classic sign of depression. Classic sign. So misconceptions of the consequences of engaging life. And this persists for longer than 2 to 6 weeks, depending on what authority you're reading for the definition. I like to extend that a little more, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I want to see a persistent pattern, let our bodies work through things naturally. But in some cases, we shouldn't wait that long. It's highly individual, and you can understand that. We have to take in mind all that matters to the individual, and maybe it is 2 weeks before we intercede in some, and maybe it's 6 months in others. It just depends. But we want to see a persistent pattern of depression before we label you as clinically depressed, okay? Now, depression is a complicated condition, and anything that involves the brain, of course, is hard to study because we can't just open it up and start taking pieces to study it. I think everybody understands that. It's a complicated subject. But I want to break it down into 2 basic components, and that's a simplification, and sometimes we lose the essence of things when we oversimplify, but we've got to start somewhere. There are 2 basic types of depression. First is endogenous depression, and this means that you are genetically hardwired to have a depressed mood. Fortunately, this is the least common. Only about 10%, 1 in 10, have this endogenous. This is the family history. It's a genetic pattern of depression. What is far more common is exogenous depression. Life circumstances have led to your depression. This is far and away, 9 out of 10, 90%, much more common. Things that can lead to exogenous or adaptive depression: malnutrition, nutrient deficiencies, illnesses, chronic illness, a major player in depression. chronic pain, the medications used to treat pain and treat chronic medical conditions can cause depression in and of themselves. Drugs of abuse. One of the reasons we have more depression than ever is so many people are using drugs of abuse today. Abusive relationships. This can be from an infant being abused as a child all the way into adulthood. Even senior abuse can lead to depression. This is a major cause of depression. And these problems, the insults to you, the victims, it wasn't your fault. You didn't do this to yourself. Somebody did it to you, but the effect stays with you for decades. The potentially there. And this is important to understand because this abuse could have happened when you were a child, and you may assume now at 45 years of age that you always have depression. It's how I'm wired. I have the endogenous type, the unusual, rarer type of depression. This is how I am. Not necessarily. The origins of your depression may go back to childhood and even infancy. Just keep an open mind with me on this. Let's give it a new approach, a new try. Try to lift those spirits up and engage life again. Financial hardships. Who hasn't felt the pinch when the checkbook doesn't have enough in it to pay the bills? We've all been there. Marital stress, job stress, career stress, sitting, you imagine daily in the car, in the traffic jam, trying to get to work on time, make a good impression on the body. You know, it just adds up. It certainly adds up. Stress in general, along with a loss of joy, of hope, and all of this can be caused by separation from God. All of this can lead to depression. Now, in the secular world, they leave God out of it. But as Christians, we know Jesus is with us always, but we get into circumstances in our life where we pull away from that. We pull away from that relationship, and without the joy of Christ, it's not a fun life. This is a common reason. It is one of the reasons we have so much more depression today. We tend to separate ourselves from God's love and the presence of Jesus. Do I hear an amen among my Christian brothers? We all know this to be true. We can speak this way on this program because we're Christians here. Okay? Next, how are we treating this in today's world? We're taking antidepressants, handfuls of pills. There are at least 25 different antidepressants in common prescription today. I just want to name a few of them so you have a familiarity. The selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, it's all about neurotransmitters in this game. Prozac, Zoloft, that's an example. Serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, Effexor, Pristiq, Cymbalta, that's examples of those. Serotonin modulators and stimulators, Brintalex and Viabird. Tricyclic and tetracyclic antidepressants like Elavil and Luteamil, monoamine oxidase inhibitors, and others. These medicines have their place. Sometimes they're necessary, but we go to them too quickly, and they're fraught with danger. Usually the problems come with the antidepressants when we first start them or when we try to stop them. Plus, they're only marginally effective. A placebo will give 40% of depression patients a lift of mood. 40% say, you know, I took that pill, even though it was a sugar pill, but I'm feeling better than I have in a long time. Now, that shows you how powerful the mind is and the brain. They both are involved in that process. A drug, the drugs, the antidepressants, are about 53% effective in depression, a placebo 40%. Headaches, insomnia, brain fog, detachment syndrome, aggression and violence towards others, along with suicidal thoughts and actions, all can occur with these antidepressants. We could talk about the evidence for that. We don't have time for it, but please trust me. This is emerging evidence. These antidepressants are associated with violent behavior, usually when we start or stop abruptly. We have an alternative. It's St. John's Wort. We can restore joy, and that's when we return. We'll be right back. Every day, about 200 million Americans do not get enough of a key essential mineral.
That mineral is magnesium. The typical American diet does not supply enough.
And magnesium is so important. It protects bones and helps more than 300 different enzymes in the human body perform efficiently.
That's why Bioinnovations offers chelated magnesium capsules for oral use and topical magnesium gel to be applied to the skin. That's 2 forms of magnesium to meet your daily needs.
Scientific evidence points to chelation as the best method of vitamin and mineral formulation.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health.
Because chances are you are one of the 200 million Americans who need more magnesium every day.
Again, that number is 888-442-2128. Call today. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings.
I'm Cindy Becker for Your Health at a Glance. Do you remember the questions you wanted to ask your doctor after you've left the doctor's office? That's happened to me, so here's my strategy to get ready for a doctor visit. If it's a first-time appointment, be sure your medical records arrive ahead of you. The doctor can review your history quickly. This leaves more time for discussion. For every visit, write down your questions at home. Include a list of medications you take. When you arrive, fill out the medical history forms concisely and accurately. Attach a copy of your questions with the forms so the doctor is aware of your questions before he or she steps into the exam room. Bring a friend for support and have a notepad to take notes. Before you leave, have all your prescriptions. And here's hoping you don't go to the doctor very often. With Your Health at a Glance, I'm Cindy Becker.
Have you heard of Cordyceps sinensis, the medicinal mushroom that supports metabolic processes for stimulant-free energy? This remarkable mushroom also supports the immune and respiratory systems, as well as the heart and lungs.
BioInnovations brings you Dr. Becker's Bionutrients, Cordyceps sinensis.
Medicinal mushrooms contain beta-glucans, compounds that promote healthy immune function while helping to coordinate multiple body systems. And Cordyceps sinensis is among the safest and most powerful medicinal mushrooms available today, making it your choice for stimulant-free natural energy.
BioInnovations is the affordable source that you can trust for all your vitamin and supplement needs. Give us a call at 888-442-2128. That's 888-442-2128. Or order online at bioinnovations.net. Be sure to ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings.
We're back, everyone, talking about how you naturally can have a healthy mood without taking medications that are just fraught with side effects. So, Richard, we're talking today about St. John's wort. So tell us about this ancient herbal remedy.
Yeah, you know, its use goes back hundreds and even thousands of years. Hippocrates, the famous Greek physician, 400 BC, wrote of, he didn't use the term St. John's. St. John hadn't been around yet, but the same plant. Theophrastus, Dioscorides, many of the great physicians who have gone down in history as making a difference in changing the way people are treated for disease used St. John's wort as a remedy. The plant is indigenous to Europe, North Africa, Western Asia, and India. The scientists call St. John's wort Hypericum perforatum. And what that means is that you have to go back to the origins in Europe of using St. John's wort, and it was tradition to harvest the plant on St. John's Day, June 24. And then they would take a piece of the plant, the flower, and hang it above a picture of St. John. So Hypericum means to place above. To place above. They would place a flower above St. John's portrait or an icon. And the perforatum, when you look at the leaf of the plant, it has little dark spots on it. It looks like it's perforated. Those are actually little glands on the leaf that make molecules, chemical structures. Plants that have that feature, they make more complex and diverse chemical components than simple plants. So Hypericum perforatum, this is the perforated leaf hung above the picture. That's what that means, Hypericum perforatum. Now, St. John's wort, of course, refers to being picked on St. John's, and wort is an Old English term meaning plant. That's all it means. So it's St. John's plant. You could say it in another word. Historical use, Topical for burns and bruises, sprains and strains. Various skin conditions, anything inflamed on the skin, taken internally for dyspepsia, allergies, nervous system afflictions, including hysteria. It has even been used as a mild sedative for children. Now, this is very handy to know because sometimes, and this isn't very common for a child, but they can become immensely distraught, inconsolable. And they need some help, but you don't want to give them a drug because, you know, a sedative that would calm you or me down, children don't really react the same way to those medicines that adults do. So this is a use for St. John's wort as a mild sedative for a child for periodic use, not something you'd want to do every day, but it's safe to do. It's been done for hundreds of years, a mild sedative for children. The medicinal part of the plant is the flowering plant, the bud in the flower, the apical growth. You know, the apical meristem, it's called. It's the part of the plant that's growing, and the bud that comes out, it has the richest chemical composition. And when you look at this plant, and you see that beautiful yellow flower, it conveys joy. It almost tells you, I'm here to help you be happy again. Isn't that a wonderful thought? The traditional method of use is you take 2 to 3 grams of the plant, dry it, so it's 2 to 3 grams of dried crude oil, herb, and then boil it and make a tea from this. And then you can also take the flowers and crush it and put it into a poultice and apply topically. Of course, in today's world, almost everybody is taking it as a capsule form, much more convenient. The modern era of use begins with the Swiss physician Paracelsus. He lived from 1493 to 1541. He was a brilliant Swiss-German physician. The St. John's plant grows naturally in the Swiss Alps, and I can just imagine a beautiful alpine setting with a meadow full of St. John's, beautiful yellow flowers. No wonder they thought maybe this would help lift mood. Anyway, he wrote of St. John's wort, and he called it arnica for the nerves. Isn't that interesting? Arnica we use for trauma, any type of acute bruise or acute painful condition. So it's arnica of the nerves, and that's a good way to think of it. The medicinal components of St. John's wort, the chemical composition, anthracene derivatives, hypericin and hypericin. Hypericin is often used to standardize the St. John's wort preparation. Flavonoids such as quercetin and rutin, very complex and very diverse. Xanthones. And I tell you this so you understand how well it's been studied. You don't need to know these things to benefit from St. John's wort, but the scientists, they know a lot about this plant. Glucinols. Hyperforin is another substance used to standardize St. John's wort. Volatile oils, oligomeric procyanidins, like grapeseed extract. It has some of the same molecules that grapeseed extract has. Catechintannins, you find that in green tea and black tea. Caffeic acid derivatives, most plants have this. Curcumin starts with caffeic acid, but curcumin does not come from this plant, but that's very common in the plant kingdom. But the scientists are really quite sure that no one single chemical component is responsible for the health benefits of St. John's wort. It's the symphony of molecules that provides it. Today's world, St. John's wort is used in the pharmacopoeias of many countries, meaning the healthcare plans of European countries, you know, they pay for the treatment and they pay for herbal therapies. It's used in the Czech Republic, France, Poland, Romania, Russia, and Germany. It's part of their system there. It's been studied and approved. The doctor can write you a prescription for St. John's just like he can write for Prozac, and their system pays for it. There are advantages and disadvantages to this. It's not a statement about its worth. It's just a fact. That's what is going on in other countries. Now, the German E-Commission, one of the world's leading authorities in the use of herbal medications, have approved St. John's wort for the following conditions. Psychiatric conditions, psychovegetative disturbances. This is a state of mind so profoundly upset that you're almost in a stuporous state. You may be unresponsive, you're so overwhelmed, you're so low in the hole that you can't pull yourself out. You need a little help with that, and it's approved for that use. Clinical depression it's approved for. Depressed mood, anxiety and nervous unrest, because chronic nervous anxiety and unrest leads to depression. And if we stop it early, we don't suffer nearly as much. What else is it used for? Approved by the Germany Commission, urological conditions such as painful or hesitant urination, and as a pediatric sedative again. I wish we'd known this in clinical practice when the children are so upset. You know, some of them can't stand having their blood drawn, and they squirm and squeal, and they're just fraught with anxiety. A little bit of St. John's wort would help calm them down and proceed on with the procedure that they have to have. I'm not saying that a child should have this every day. That would be inappropriate. But those times when a child is so distraught and upset, something to help them, that's a true godsend. Now, how are we doing this here in America? Well, the U.S. Pharmacopoeia statement says there's not enough evidence for the use of St. John's wort, which is misleading. The evidence is all around us. There are dozens and dozens of studies, and we want to talk about that after these important messages. But you know, the people of America have found out the truth. They know where to go for help, and they've made St. John's wort one of the most popular herbs in America, and we want to talk about the science when we return. Can you lower your risk of disease? The answer is yes. One way is by including fruit in your diet. Fruit contains valuable nutrients that can reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even some cancers.
We've searched the world and found 4 fruits we believe are among the best. Noni from Polynesia, acai from the Amazon, and 2 new ones, goji and mangosteen.
These 4 juices each have amazing properties that make them great additions to your nutritional plan. If you're a diabetic or have chronic pain, these juices will help you feel better and have more energy. Plus, they help with digestion.
Now you can experience the health-promoting benefits of all 4 in one convenient package we call the Fruits of the World 4-pack. And remember, it's 50% off by the case.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. That number's 888-442-2128.
I'm Cindy Becker for Your Health at a Glance. We all have said, I need to get some exercise, but how many of us put on our walking shoes and go? Learning a little more about the health benefits of exercise may help you get motivated to lace up those walking shoes. Exercise helps to control our appetite and weight. It maintains strong muscles. It promotes the release of endorphins that counter depression while helping us feel good about our lives. Exercise helps to lower blood glucose, promotes a strong circulatory system, and controls cholesterol. Exercise even helps us get a good night's sleep. Recent research finds dog owners who regularly walk their pet are 34% more likely to achieve fitness goals. You can get all of these health benefits by walking 30 minutes 4 times a week, just 30 minutes a day. Start today, and you'll start to get all those benefits. For Your Health at a Glance, I'm Cindy Becker.
Vitamin D deficiency is at epidemic levels in the United States. Chances are you aren't getting enough of this essential nutrient. Vitamin D is one of the most important molecules in the human body. It's required for the proper function of nearly 4,000 genes and 1,000 metabolic chemical reactions.
BioInnovations brings you Dr. Becker's Bionutrients Vitamin D3. Now, supplementing with vitamin D is safe and affordable.
Studies show that vitamin D deficiency can lead to poor immune function, depression, cardiovascular disease, bone disease, diabetes, cancer, and much more. Starting supplementing vitamin D today for better health tomorrow.
BioInnovations is the affordable source that you can trust for all your vitamin and supplement needs. So give us a call at 888-442-2128. That's 888-442-2128. Or order online at bioinnovations.net.
Welcome back, everyone. We've been having a very interesting discussion, haven't we, on depression? This is a subject we all need to listen to. We all have been touched by depression, whether it's in our own families, ourselves, or a loved one. And you know, we really do need to step back and help them with God's help. Can't forget to bring God into the picture, though. It's just got to be right there beside the things that we do naturally. Anyway, We do have St. John's Wort now at BioInnovations, so I need to let you know that we have the Dr. Becker's Bionutrients St. John's Wort that is standardized, that will be the strength that you need, and it's buy one, get one free today, so you can take advantage of this. Buy one bottle at the regular price, you get a second bottle free. That's today only, so don't miss it. So Richard, now you do have some scientific evidence
Yes.
that we need to share with everyone to lay the groundwork for why St. John's Wort really is a viable option.
Well, the first piece of evidence is its long historical use. If it caused cancer, heart disease, terrible things, we would know it after 2,000 plus years of use. And even in children, the use in children. So that is something, a bit of evidence that modern science fails to achieve. Nothing replaces the historical use of a substance. That's first. But there is more. Recently, the Annals of Family Medicine published a meta-analysis review of 66 studies conducted all around the world. This was done in 2015, not too long ago, for the treatment of depression using the common medications, the ones we talked about before, you know, Prozac and Zoloft and Effexor, all those, or St. John's Wort. Compare them. They found that the placebo is 40% effective, and the medications in St. John's Wort are both about 53% effective in relieving depression, equal to the medications, but no side effects. Wonderful. Their conclusion, St. John is effective for the treatment of depression with a side effect profile equal to placebo, much better tolerated than the medications. Next, the Cochrane Library Review. Cochrane is known for its objective reviews of evidence. They really do a good effort in keeping the drug companies out of their decision-making processes. And it has a profound effect, folks. They're wealthy. Wealthy people influence us. We can't help it. It's part of it. You really have to make an effort to keep that type of influence out of your decision-making process. Doctors, you know what I'm talking about. It's part of our daily existence. Cochrane Library Review for just St. John's and major depression. October 2008. 9 large studies show St. John's is 49% better than placebo. 9 small studies showed 87% more effective than placebo. 2 studies show St. John's equally effective as SSR or tricyclic antidepressants with fewer side effects. That's a pretty convincing. It's better than what you can get at the pharmacy. Next, the German E-Commission review of 30 controlled trials with thousands of mild to moderately depressed patients. St. John's is superior to placebo. This is their conclusion. The 30 studies works as well or better than the commonly used medications, and side effects are rare and equal to placebo. What I mean by that is if you give 100 people a sugar pill, about 7% will get a headache. Boy, something about that pill disagreed with me. That's just the nature of things. That's how it is. And the side effect profile of St. John's is equal to the sugar pill. So what's causing what? Well, it's not a drug effect. One study found severely depressed patients respond better than mildly depressed. Yes, that's right. St. John's Wort helps severely depressed patients. And this has been an observation of mine in clinical practice. If you're just having a few days of the blues, St. John's, maybe not so much. But if you're in a deep hole and you don't know how to get out of it, start with St. John's. It really worked in my practice. I saw it many times over and over and over. And you know what? When people come, when you write a prescription for someone and they come back in a week and say, Doc, I can't take that stuff. It makes me feel terrible. I hate my life on that stuff. You don't want to ever use it again because we're here to help people. But when we gave them St. John's Wort, we never, can you remember anybody who came back and said, this stuff makes me feel terrible, I can't stand it?
Never did.
Never. We never saw that with St. And the science supports that conclusion, same as ours. Here they found the Germany Commission review of 30 controlled trials. Only 1 out of 3,250 patients had a reaction, and that was an allergic reaction. And it is a plant. It comes from a plant, so yeah, it's possible. But it's not very common. You know, you can react to ragweed too. So that is a possibility. Multiple studies conducted around the world find St. John's improves mood, increases interest in activities, it improves sleep and concentration while it reduces pain and somatic complaints often associated with depression. Now, when St. John's caught on for general use in the 1990s, it severely affected the pharmaceutical company's sale of their new Prozacs and their new drugs. So they went to work to discredit St. John's. And what they did is they found that St. John's, in their studies, amplified enzymes in the liver, the cytochrome P450 enzyme system that detoxifies our body. Usually you would think that's a good thing. Take a herb, it improves your detoxification abilities. But what it also does is it can lower your blood levels of certain medications. So they pounded this concept over and over and over, and it has worked. America's doctors have kind of gotten away from St. John's again, based on the potential it can lower drug levels in critical patients. Well, I never saw that happen, and I have not seen it in the literature as a common endpoint. Clinical case trials, case reports, patient, they're on a critical drug, and St. John's completely messed their whole profile up, and now we can't use it anymore. In theory, it's there, and it is potentially, possibly could happen. So I have to tell you about that. So if you're taking a cardiovascular drug, an immune suppressant drug to prevent donor organ rejection, something like that, if you're on warfarin, Coumadin, or a blood thinner, or low-dose oral birth control pills, it is theoretically possible that the drug level of these medicines will drop when you take St. John's wort. But again, I've not seen much of that happening. All right? Now, let's go to our break, and when we return, let's talk about who should consider taking St. John's wort. We'll be right back. For centuries, the herb astragalus has been a staple of traditional Chinese medicine. It's used to create a strong shield, protecting the immune system.
Astragalus is also used to support healthy heart and lung function.
There's even more. Astragalus helps to calm total body inflammation, a common cause of pain and chronic illness.
All of that without the use of medication.
That's right. Support your health the way nature intended with astragalus root.
BioInnovations brings you Dr. Becker's Bionutrients Astragalus Root Extract. BioInnovations is the affordable source that you can trust for all your vitamin and supplement needs. Give us a call at 888-442-2128 or order online at bioinnovations.net and see what astragalus can do for your health. That number once again is 888-442-2128. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. Call today.
Here is our hope for you today. I'm Cindy Becker. In the epic movie Gone with the Wind, Scarlett O'Hara says she won't think about her problems today or she'll go crazy. She'll think about them tomorrow. How should we think about tomorrow in our lives? In Matthew 6, verse 33, we get advice about tomorrow. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. It's so difficult to not worry about the future. Many of us catastrophize about the future. That's spending all your time thinking about all the catastrophes that might happen. So let tomorrow worry about itself. That way, we won't miss the wonderful things happening in our lives right now. I'm Cindy Becker. This is our hope for you today.
There are thousands of fungal species, and at least 200 of them have been found to cause human diseases.
Fungal infections are common, so what can we do to protect ourselves?
One solution is oregano, a natural alternative. Oregano fights problems created by fungus and yeast overgrowth, and it improves many other health conditions.
At BioInnovations, we offer oregano in gel caps and liquid extract.
Yeast and fungal disorders can improve.
So take charge of your health by choosing a natural alternative such as oregano gel caps or oil of oregano liquid extract.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. That number's 888-442-2128.
We're back, everyone. Just want to give you a little reminder that we have the Dr. Becker's Bionutrients, St. John's Wort, buy one, get one free today only, so don't miss it. You buy one bottle at the regular price, and you get a second bottle free. So, Richard, you had a little bit more about taking the medication.
We talked about the potential for St. John's to lower critical medication drug levels. That is a possibility. I don't see that happening a lot, but it is a true possibility. The other thing is, I would not recommend taking St. John's with any of the other antidepressants. It may be too much. There's a syndrome called the serotonin syndrome that we just get too much serotonin and it really makes us sick. It can be life-threatening. So, you know, if you want to add it to an antidepressant, sometimes we do that, but we should do that with a doctor's care. Don't do it on your own. Don't add St. John's to another antidepressant on your own. Have a doctor help you with that.
Good advice.
Who should consider taking St. John? If you have mild to severe depression, a depressed mood, you know, we used to call it the blues. That sounds a little better, doesn't it? If you have the blues, think of St. John's. For any of the symptoms commonly associated with depression, you can use it. Seasonal affect disorder. You know, when the sun rides low on the horizon during the winter, we don't get much melatonin, and the vitamin D drops. It's a seasonal affect disorder. St. John's has been shown to help with that. Don't forget your vitamin D and melatonin, because that's the real cause. But the three together work beautifully for seasonal affect disorder. And get outside and walk anyway. Stress and anxiety. Stress and anxiety can lead to depression. Chronic pain, arthritis, or degenerative joint disease, degenerative disc disease, anything that causes ongoing pain will depress you. St. John's will help you with that. Nerve conditions such as neuralgia, sciatica, or carpal tunnel syndrome. Dyspepsia, the ancient use of St. John's, dyspepsia. Remember, arnica for the nerves, that's how I think of it. How do you take St. John's wort? The typical dose is 300 milligram standardized to 0.3% hypericum capsule, 300 milligram capsule. You can take anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 of these a day. A very commonly studied dose is 900 milligrams a day of 0.3% hypericum standardized St. John's wort. Let's get that, 3 capsules a day. Some people find they say one of those capsules for the mid-afternoon for a little pick-me-up to help the mood, because we tend to get a little depressed in the late afternoon. You know how that goes if you're fighting depression. Save one for there. That's fine. You can do that. Remember, it's no side effects. It's so easy to take. Now, this program is all about holistic and complementary measures. And so no discussion of depression can be complete without the holistic measures. So let's talk about that. If you find yourself in a depressed state, or you have a loved one in a depressed state, please improve the diet. Fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, fish, poultry, lean meats, olive oil, nuts and seeds. Eat organic whenever possible. We react to chemicals, and depression can be a sign of a reaction, a toxic reaction to chemicals. Toxic reaction to chemicals. Please consider that. You know, MSG, aspartame, food added preservatives. Some people react by a depressive state to these. Prepare more of your own foods. Consider a food elimination. Food sensitivities, food intolerances, and allergies are known to cause mood disorders. You may be depressed because of your diet. I have to make that clear to you. Please understand that. You say, well, I love those foods. I've been eating them all my life. Yeah, and you've been depressed a long time. Time for a change. Why take a bunch of things when what you need to do is avoid a food? Think about that. Holistically treat any other health condition. You know, if you have hypothyroidism, you can take all the St. John's and Prozac you want, but you need to take thyroid hormone. If there's another health condition contributing to your depression, please address them. That's the true treatment for the depression. That's the exogenous concept. Life circumstances is causing your depression. Treat the health conditions. Begin a regular exercise program. Walking is as effective as the prescription medicines for depression. It's tremendous. And it's preferable to walk outdoors for the light effect on, you know, there's some 25 different physiologic effects from sunlight, and only one of those is vitamin D. Think about this. It's tremendous for mood. Get outdoors and start moving. Music. The vibrational energy of music can be so healing. So healing. Take your little Walkman, I don't know what you call them nowadays, the kids have new stuff, but put the plugs in for your ear and get out in the sunshine, enjoy your music and take a walk. That does more for you than you can imagine. But when you're depressed, you have this notion, nothing can help me, I don't want to do that. No, please, make yourself do it. Break the cycle, get up and start moving. Socialize. The company of a good friend can certainly lift your spirits. Attending church for the first time in months can bring your spirits up. And with your spiritual practice, please understand, please believe you have value, you are worth it. God loves you, and God will always love you, and Jesus is always with you. And you know what? If you don't have faith, it's okay. For now, because God has faith in you. And that will tide you over till you can start making progress. Now that's your foundation. To those things, let's have a little B complex. You know, we can't make serotonin without the B vitamins. B vitamins are required to make these neurotransmitters, B3, B6, B12 in particular. And it typically requires a B complex strength, 25 milligram of the common B vitamins, or 50 milligrams even, to really boost the mood. Minerals, calcium and magnesium are also required to make neurotransmitters. And some people have extraordinarily high need for minerals such as chromium, copper, or zinc. The typical person, 25 to 40 milligrams of zinc a day is enough to support a proper mood. But for some people, they need 400, 500 milligrams a day of zinc. And you shouldn't take that much zinc unless you know for sure you need that much. Nutrient Power, the book written by William Walsh, PhD, will help you understand that and give you contacts to learn if you're the type of person who needs extraordinarily high mineral levels to support your mood. This is life-changing. I strongly recommend that those of you who have it, you know, our inner doctor, our spirit, our intuitive spirit tells us things, but we push it down and refuse to listen. If your spirit is telling you, you know, I think that's my problem, get this book and start reading and have a conversation with Bill Walsh. He's an amazing individual, and his foundation helped a lot of people. Now, we have a few more things that are equally important, but we have a break. We'll be right back for our wrap-up and finish of this critically important topic.
Are you one of the 62 million Americans suffering from gastrointestinal problems? Do you struggle with other chronic conditions? That's why we offer Dr. Becker's Bionutrient Probiotics.
After years of research, we developed a revolutionary probiotic formula with gastrodefense technology. This system protects the good bacteria from stomach acid so the probiotics reach the intestines where they go to work. Additionally, we use live count technology to prolong the shelf life of the probiotics, so there's no need for refrigeration.
Dr. Becker's Bionutrient Probiotics is a powerful combination and one of the most effective formulas available today. And we offer a children's chewable formula too, both at prices you can afford.
Order online at bioinnovations.net or call 888-442-2128 and let us assist you in making the right choices for better health. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. That number's 888-442-2128.
I'm Dr. Richard Becker, and this is Your Health at a Glance. Could some of your favorite foods be making you sick? Cases of non-allergic food intolerance are on the rise. This is different than food allergies. Recent surveys reveal up to 20% of us may be suffering from food intolerance. People who have a higher risk of non-allergic food sensitivity are those with other types of allergies, such as hay fever, or irritable bowel syndrome, hepatitis C, chronic indigestion, abdominal pain, or constipation. Non-allergic food intolerance can be delayed up to 48 hours or longer, so you may not connect something you ate 2 days ago with fatigue, headaches, abdominal pain, or depression. You can keep a food diary and write down everything you eat. Blood tests can diagnose the problem, or an elimination diet can help you detect the foods that are causing your symptoms. For Your Health at a Glance, I'm Dr. Richard Becker. Have you heard about the health-promoting power of medicinal mushrooms? These remarkable mushrooms include maitake, shiitake, reishi, and ABM. The medicinal mushrooms contain beta-glucans, compounds that promote healthy immune function while helping to coordinate multiple body systems.
Bioinnovations brings you Dr. Becker's Bionutrients Mushroom Complex with maitake, shiitake, reishi, and ABM in one convenient product.
Our mushroom complex features the safest and most powerful medicinal mushrooms available, providing natural support for a variety of health conditions.
BioInnovations is the affordable source that you can trust for all your vitamin and supplement needs. So give us a call at 888-442-2128. That's 888-442-2128. Or order online at bioinnovations.net. Ask about the AutoShip program for additional savings. Your Health is brought to you by BioInnovations, trusted products for your health and well-being.
We're back, everybody. We have a little bit more information on St. John's Wort, but first I want to give you a quick reminder about that special today. We have the St. John's Wort now at BioInnovations, and it's buy one, get one free today only. So, Richard, you have a little bit more that you want to get out to everyone.
Yes. You know, we talked about how you need B vitamins and minerals to make neurotransmitters. We also need protein amino acids. So taking a little powdered protein supplement can supply your tryptophan and things like that that you need to support these neurotransmitters that support our mood. So good protein intake, and sometimes even protein supplements can be very helpful. Vitamin C, at least 1 or 2 grams a day. The adrenal glands have the highest concentration of vitamin C found in the human body. The adrenal glands make hormones and neurotransmitters. So a little extra vitamin C supports the adrenal glands, and this in turn supports our mood. This stuff works, folks. Believe it. Fake it till you make it. That's how we say it. Get on the program and your life's going to start getting better. Vitamin D3, the vitamin that controls hormones. Vitamin D3, the dose is typically anywhere from 3 to 10,000 international units a day. Do blood levels to be sure. We want a blood level of vitamin D between 50 and 70 in that range to maintain good mood. Most multiple vitamins do not provide enough nutrients to be effective in the nutritional management of depression. It's rare to find a multiple vitamin with 25 milligrams of niacin in it. It's usually 2 or 3 milligrams. That's really not enough. If you're in the blue state, you need more than that. Now, there are multiple vitamins available, and we can help you with that, but this isn't about that. This is, you need more than that. Take your basic multiple, but add a B complex to it. Now you're doing something. Next, the omega-3 fatty acids, omega-3 and 6s. 70% of the brain is fats, lipids, and oils. If that balance isn't right, you're going to be blue. And it's going to be very difficult to come out no matter what you're taking. Omega-3s. Mitochondrial support. We're talking CoQ10, L-carnitine, D-ribose, magnesium. This stuff helps the mitochondria to create energy so the brain can do what it needs. I wish I had more time to talk about all this, but this is how you restore the function. The melatonin. Pineal gland is the center of melatonin production. It's also the center of our spiritual brain. And the pineal gland becomes frozen in inactivity, and we can help to get it going again with melatonin as a supplement. And one last thought. If your hormones are off, you're going to be depressed and other things as well. It's very common, men, as we get older, for testosterone to drop. Women, you know, menopause brings low estrogen levels, and that can lead to profound depression. So bioidentical hormone replacement can be a true godsend and get you back on track. Put these measures to work. Get your exercise going. Get your spiritual practice going again. Take the walks outside. Add a little St. John's to that, and the joy returns far more commonly than it doesn't. It's the place to start. Medicines have their place. If you need them, take them. But start with this. You're going to feel better in no time. Well, thank you for your kind attention on a difficult subject, but essential subject.
That's right.
We'll see you here tomorrow, right here at Your Health. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Did you know not all bacteria is bad? Probiotics are healthy, beneficial bacteria which provide life-giving support for your intestines. Add foods like fermented cabbage, coconut, or miso that supports the good bacterial balance in your gut. Real foods like this boost your nutrient assimilation, plus you'll feel great. It's not crazy, just healthy.
Next time on The Three, you're going to see the devastation that hit my city recently when tornadoes ripped through Middle Tennessee, leaving 25 dead, 50,000 without power, and countless homeless. But would you believe that God used CTN to connect us to an owner of a Florida disaster relief ministry after he saw The Three, resulting in $200,000 worth of donated survival goods, salvations, and even healings?
You need a hotel room? We can put you up in a hotel room.
Join us for the amazing story right here on CTN.